Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are at game number 4 between nAni and Liquid Zenio. This time we're on the map Terminus, spawning down here in the 6 o'clock spawn location. We've got Zenio as our red Zerg player, and then over here in the 3 o'clock, nAni as the blue Protoss player. Yes, this is game number 4 right now here between these two players, and Liquid Zenio now up 2-1, so nAni's going to have to win this if he hopes to get back in the series here. And last game was pretty crazy, I must say. Liquid Zenio being very, very effective with the early game pressure, opening up with Spieling Hydra and managing to pressure the front of nAni's natural expansion with that. And then he transitioned into mutas and just kind of worked up a muta death ball and really kept nAni in his main and natural for a long time. This allowed Zenio to get up an economic advantage, and then eventually we saw a base trade take place, and since Zenio was so far ahead at that point, with his counterattack, he was actually able to cripple nAni's economy and secure the victory. And that was game number 2 in a nutshell. Here we are at that was game number 3 in a nutshell. Here we are at game number 4. And nAni will be going Forge Fast Expand yet again. He's got that forward pylon, so the wall off's going to be taking place right over in this green little box. Scouting up in that 12 o'clock position. He's then going to be checking the 9 o'clock. And then lastly, we'll be moving down to the 6. So won't be scouting out Zenio until the very last place that he ends up checking. And Zenio himself actually not coming out with any scouting whatsoever. Did decide to go pool first, even though there has been no probe in his base. He's just assuming that there will be one shortly, and he's assuming also that the likelihood of him dropping that natural expansion first is very, very small. And even if he could, the other issue is that since the Protoss player may likely be Forge Fast Expanding, even if you do get your hatch down before the probe harass comes, you could deal with cannons, and cannons is a huge pain in the butt. Cannons can basically force you to cancel your expansion, or he lets you finish it, drops the cannons, and all of a sudden you have to throw a ton of lings and drop a few spines just to deal with it. It basically can become a huge headache, so it's always going to be the safer bet there to just go for that pool first in this matchup if you're expecting a Forge Fast Expand. nAni did go Forge first, as we can see here, now just dropping the Nexus, and here comes his first cannon. Still no scouting for Zenio. The only scout that he has are these two Overlords. Hasn't decided to move out yet. Will now be taking care of this pylon and then dropping his natural expansion. We have got the extractor coming on through here as well. We'll be interested to see what Zenio decides to do once he does spot the Forge Fast Expand of his opponent. Again, he still really has no idea whatsoever what's going on, but since that pylon is taken care of, here comes the hatch, and there go the Lings. Lings now moving out to get some scouting intel. He will be realizing in just a moment the position of nAni as his Overlord continues to move on up to that 3 o'clock location, and there it is. He spots the mining of that mineral field. That's a dead giveaway, so now we can route the Lings right on over there and check that front wall to see what's going on in there. Oh, look at that. Who would have thought? Forge Fast Expand from his opponent. Coming on through, cannon finish, gateway finish. Here's that Cybernex core to finish that wall off. And we'll have to keep a close eye on Zenio just to see what he decides to do here. Droning up for the time being. He's got 4 drones coming out. He, of course, wants to get some relatively decent saturation over there at that natural expansion. And we are going to expect nAni over here to just pretty much be probing up like I talked about last game. It's really all he can do after Forge Fast Expanding for the first few minutes. You can see already 5 minutes into the game and he doesn't even have a Cyber Core finished, and that's obviously because he went Forge Fast Expand. So because of that early on, you don't really expect any pressure whatsoever from your opponent, and look at this, how interesting. Taking a quick third, also getting a Baneling's Nest. Zenio going for a very, very quick third and spotting that quick natural expansion from nAni. The concern, too, is that the Protoss player can try to go for a third somewhat quick as well. He just has to deal with those destructible debris first. And he doesn't really have any Overlords in position at the moment to actually scout that out. So he himself is dropping a third right now. And oh man, that Baneling Nest. I wonder if he will be Baneling busting. Now there's a couple things. He could be going macro and just be using this third to try to get up another resource line. But what leads me to believe that that's not the case and that this is just going to be a hatchery for additional larvae is the existence of that Baneling Nest. This is very early to get a Baneling Nest. And yeah, so what this is going to be is this is in a forward position. Larvae from this hatchery will make for quick reinforcements. And there was going to be some aggression here. We've got a bunch of Banelings morphing in over here. Ton of Spielings coming out. 16 coming on through. That metabolic boost is just about finished, and there you go. So will be a Baneling bust coming out here. A couple of Zealots moving on down, grabbing the tower. And does he scout that? Yes, he does. So he's moving out to check it. He wants to see, is that saturated or what? No, it's not, because you're about to get hit. Pushing on through right now, Speedlings and Banelings at the front of nAni's base, and he's a little worried that something's going on. And here comes that Baneling bust. Where's it going? Straight for the Forge. Does massive amounts of damage to it. He's got another Baneling coming on through. That Forge gets dropped. Unfortunately, Speedling's unable to get a full surround there as nAni finishes the wall off with a couple of pylons. They're going to try to continue to work through that photon cannon, but the cannon slowly whittling down the forces. And nAni right now has to keep building this wall. He's got to incorporate. No, there's no cannons. This is a huge problem. Without any cannons, there's not a lot of aggression at all. There's no firepower. The only firepower he's got is a single sentry. He's got another warp gate coming on through there. A few more Banelings that's going to help him try to bust through this wall. And those Lings so very close. Sentry trying to do what he can for damage without that force field anymore, though. He gets taken out. More Banelings moving forward, and there it is. The wall goes bye-bye. Speedlings now tearing through the probes. That was a quick game number 4. Alright, my friends, that does it here in the series between nAni and Liquid Zenio. Zenio ends up taking the series 3-1. Unfortunately, nAni again trying for that quick expansion build like we saw last game. However, this time Zenio's response was able to really bust down that front wall nice and early and result in the quick GG. Great series, pretty fun, although relatively short games. I think they were pretty interesting games nonetheless. As always, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you like the content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I can't overstate how much that helps me out, so thank you guys who do so. And as always, guys, if you like the content, oh, I just said that. Oh well, keep watching and keep owning. Take it easy, guys.